favorite day of the week. Hopefully it is yours too, because on Fridays we talk about the intersections. We talk about the themes and the threads that run through the passages that we've been chewing on and working on and studying this week. And so on Friday, we kind of put it all together. So let's spend a few minutes and talk about the four passages. On Monday, we read Matthew chapter 25, 14 to 30. And in this passage, Jesus tells a story, a parable about a wealthy man who entrusts some of his wealth to his servants, 3 servants. 2 of them increase the money, while one simply buries the money and gives it back when the master returns. The master is angry and rejects the third servant, giving his small amount of money to the servant who made the most. So Jesus is coming back is the message. God gifts us. He entrusts to us resources to be used to build God's kingdom. Right. On Tuesday, we were in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 1 to 11, and Paul is telling the church and reminding them that Christ is coming, and he'll come like a thief in the night, and and he encourages God's people to stay alert and live sober lives, protected by love, salvation, and faithfulness in union with Christ. He ends this amazing passage with encourage one another, build one another up, which is great. Wednesday is Old Testament day, Judges chapter 4, verses 1 to 7. This is the story of Deborah. Israel was conquered by a Canaanite king. God raises up Deborah as a judge who discerns God's will. He gifts to her this gift to do this, and it steers God's people back on track. They're able to overcome their enemy. And then yesterday was Psalm 123. This was a psalm of ascent. It was sung. Psalms 120 to 134 are songs of ascent. These are songs that were sung on the way to Jerusalem pilgrimage journey. It's all about a prayer for mercy and a affirming trust and devotion to God in the midst of mockery and shame and a lot of opposition. So those are our 4 passages. I came up with 3 different themes I've noticed, and I would love to hear what you came up with. The first one is to be alert for God's coming. The second coming of Jesus will happen. I'm not going to be one of these guys that say we're right there, we're right on the edge. It could happen any moment now. It could, but for 2,000 years, people have been speculating about the time. And Paul says, hey, don't focus on the time. Just focus on being alert to live attentive lives to what God is doing through the Holy Spirit now. But trust that Jesus is going to come back and come soon, whenever that is. The second is to assess our resources. God has gifted us as individuals and as churches with spiritual gifts and talents. He's given us money. He's given us jobs. He's given us influence. He's given us relationships. He's given us these individual bodies that can do work for him. He's given us time, and we are called to work to build God's kingdom with those resources. We're to invest into what God is doing all around us in Columbus as it is in heaven, or wherever you're watching from. We have work to do, and the first 2 servants in the parable are a reminder of the investment and multiplication that we are to be a part of as we make disciples who make disciples who make disciples, so that the Garden of Eden spreads to fill the earth, from God's original design or intention. And then the third intersection that I found was to step up and to step up in the ways that God is working in the world, to be attentive to God's kingdom. In the psalm yesterday, it talked about God is king. So it's a reminder that God is working all around us, that God is the king. He's the king that's coming back, but he is reigning through his people now. And so we need to be people that are looking around us to see where God is working and join him in that kingdom work. And I think that's incredibly important. Sometimes we think we're the ones who are initiating it, but we're reminded that God is the one who initiates the good work, and we join him in that good work. So those are 3 ideas that intersections that I came up with. First one is be alert. Jesus is coming back. Number 2, God has gifted us. with gifts and talents and time, talents, treasures, those type of things. And the third is God is working in the world, and we are to use those resources to join him in the kingdom work because it's his kingdom. What did you come up with? What were the intersections that you found this week? And then if you are Sandy Hook person, on Sunday, I'll be preaching on these passages. I'll walk them through each one, spend a little bit of time on each one and kind of break them down and then share some intersections, maybe in a little bit different way than I shared them in this video. The songs are inspired by these passages. So you and I prepare ourselves by reading these passages, by thinking through them, by taking them apart, by chewing on them. And then we come on Sunday prepared to worship Jesus based on these interactions that we've had with him and one another through the week. So if you do me a favor and share your intersections in the comments, I would love to learn from you. That's it. Grace and peace. I'll see you next week as we do it all over again. See ya.